On the Western Pizza guest hotline, and it's almost that time for the World Junior Championships. We teased it earlier. Joining us, got to grab a few minutes of his time, Pete Anholt, manager of the World Junior team this year for Canada. Okay, so Pete, first off, I was joking with you, talking to Les Lazaruk, who you know well, on Tuesday. And I was saying to Les, well, you know, Pete's under a lot of pressure and finished last year. And Les goes, Pete wouldn't be feeling the pressure. He would be okay. It's just, and I said, well, like, do you think that it's just like Pete went out and shot 95 at Waskesiu and he's like, let's go have a pint? He's like, that's exactly what he'll be like. So now settle it. Is there some pressure there for Pete Anholt?
Well, I don't think it's just on me. You know what you do know, Barney, is that the country is watching. You understand that, and you understand the magnitude of the tournament. And it really hit me last year. It didn't really hit me until we were around Sweden there, and the number of Canadian fans that were there. And then when we were playing the Swedes that one game, and they came out, and of course it was half Canadian, probably more than half were Canadian. And, it hits you there, how important this is to the Canadians and how they follow it. So, but it doesn't change your job. It doesn't change what you have to do. You just go about it. You make decisions, and they're hard decisions. But pressure isn't really the right word. I don't think. You just feel how passionate people are, and that happens when you're with your own major junior team or you're with the World Junior team. It's just kind of the same. It's just a little bit bigger stage.
Okay, I'm going to let Les win that one then. I think Les was more correct than me. What's the one thing, if there is one thing, or the major thing that you learned going through it last year?
Preparation. I think, we, for whatever reason, we don't have to go through it too much, but we didn't have a summer camp. We didn't name our coaches till October. Our coaches didn't even see each other get together till we were in October having our first meeting. We were chasing it a little bit, and there was that side of it, but there was also the COVID side where the 04 group didn't have U17, didn't have U18, didn't have the same things that other years had previously, and then what this group has had this year also. So I think, Barney, really the preparation has been really key. Our summer camp was really important. Before that, though, prior to that, we've named an excellent coaching staff. This coaching staff is NHL coaching staff. It's awesome, and then having the summer camp so you can get to know some people, you can get to know kids, and then it sets you up for the fall, getting out to the rookie camps or the NHL rookie tournaments, which I always feel that those rookie tournaments are as close to the World Juniors as you're ever going to see until December. That's the level of play that you're looking at. So even though you watch them in the CHL and people say, well, gee, he's doing this, he's doing that with his team, that really doesn't really come into play in a lot of ways. Yeah, it's nice to see a guy playing well, but you're looking at a lot of different things in a person's play. It's not just this, and certainly not just stats. Stats are just one part of the thing, and the evaluation. So, yeah, I think that evaluation and preparation is probably the two things that we've got over top of last year. And I've always kind of felt bad for the coaches last year. I said to them, we kind of hung an anvil around their neck and sunk them, I think. And it's too bad. Those are good people and good coaches.
Wow, that's a great look behind the curtain. The thing is, we're gonna get into all the Saskie players. It's just littered with Sask. You and I talked, late summer. It was awesome. Shout out Nacum, right? Your hometown. What does Regina's Al Murray bring to this group?
Wow. Well, experience and his knowledge of the players and how he breaks down the importance of all the different positions, and he stacks the players, and it just, his experience is really important, and we had a pretty good idea what this team was going to look like in September. Really, I like it, and then it was just a matter of filling in from there. We wanted to have a small camp in December, which I think that has worked out in our favor also. Al is just such a professional. How he goes about his business, and I was really lucky to be able to work with him because we thought along the same lines. I don't know if we really ever argued. We certainly discussed a lot each day. We talked probably every day for 3 months, and sometimes multiple times. So that was just, it was just a really good experience.
It's funny because, like you said, what it means in Canada, and we've all followed it. I remember watching the Stefan Fissé and Manny Legacy as a kid, and then it being in Saskatoon. But this year, you guys, it was true to the word what you guys said. There was no freebies to make this team. Like you said, you maybe had a good idea in September, but there hasn't been a lot of times when players that played on the team didn't play the next year. But you guys were true to your word, and we're building a new team here, and there was no freebies.
We had to be better, Barney. Ultimately, we weren't good enough, and really, when you break it down, we were one goal away from getting to the semis. I mean, it wasn't as though we were terrible, but really, I felt that a lot of those players weren't ready for that stage. This is a different stage, and people don't really understand it until you're in it, and you see it, and you are part of it, and you listen to the coaches of how things are in the bench, and I just think that it's a stage that people don't really understand until you're in it, and that's where some of our returning players are going to be better for it, but they also saw that we didn't return some players from last year, and that, I think, made a serious statement to our group.
Let's go through the Saskie boys quick here. First off, named captain today, Braden Yager, a guy that you trade for. Now you got in Lethbridge. Just some quick words on what Yags means.
Real special player, I think. The way he skates, the way he competes, the way he goes about his business, and I don't say this lightly in a sense. I think there's some players that really compete hard, but have kind of have a nastiness to them, or he competes at a high level, but does it in a classy way, like a Joe Sakic, like a Steve Yzerman. And I don't say those things lightly, Barney. I think when you look at how he plays and how he competes, and now he's got a championship under his belt with Moose Jaw, having a World Junior experience under his belt, he was a natural fit for the captaincy.
A guy that played junior lobstick this year. He wasn't sure where he stood, and it was dad. Well, they weren't sure. He felt he left it all on the ice. Caden Price makes the team.
Yeah, Pricer, he's one of those guys that I've always liked. Caden, as a player, I think he's one of those guys that he's a kind of a utility knife in a lot of ways, or a Swiss Army knife, you might say. He can run a power play if you need it, but he can also be a good defender. He's got some size. He skates well. Like he's just a real all-round good player. I don't think there's one part of his game that really defines him, but I think he's just a really good all-around player.
Comes from a great family. I think he gets so much from that, knowing them. How another maybe utility guy, but up front, Prince Albert's Tanner Howe. After what happened in the summer for him, he gets a chance to go back and he makes the team. What do you say about him?
Plays in the fabric of the game. He's in the blue paint. Just all the time.
That's the Prince Albert in him, isn't it?
I would say that. Hey,
Yeah.
You know what? I've got respect for that.
Yeah.
He's just a hard player. But a good player. Like he can ramp it up at any given time too, and throw skill at you, but do it with some sandpaper, And a lot of these guys too, Barney, played for me when we were with the Helenka team a couple of years ago. So this group is, really well known to me in a sense, you might say. And he's just one of those guys that I really respect how he plays.
You talk about sandpaper. This guy's dad was sandpaper in the senior hockey circles back in the day, and he is just a phenomenal player. Everyone in Saskatchewan's heard his name. Berkeley Catton makes the team.
Yeah, this guy's special. His hockey sense is off the charts. Really, really plays the game at a real smart level. Like he is his hockey IQ is elite. Can play with really good players, but if you ever need him to kill penalties or play in a checking role, he could do that too, because he's so smart and his skating is so good that he keeps his body in good position. He's got a good stick, but has the ability to run a power play and or be a part of a really good power play, which we hope he is here.
That were all the Saskie guys. I got to ask you about one more guy, Gavin McKenna. So young, like not even, drafting 2 years out. He's on this club. Where do you see him fitting in? And speaking of special players, right?
Yeah, we got two of those guys. Well, you could say three with Ivakovich and Schaefer. McKenna's right there with everybody. He's just a special player. His hockey sense is off the charts. Can make plays that other guys just don't see. So you have to play him with smart players, because they have to be in the right place to receive those passes and be in the right place. So yeah, he's young though, so we're careful about that on this stage. The bright lights might be too bright, possibly, but you know what? Special players are special for a reason, right? They make special plays, and he's one of those guys.
More pressure if you guys maybe get into an overtime game or a downhill slider, number 2, Waskesiu in a lobstick playoff. Where's there more pressure?
Well, there's not as many people watching there. If you got the ball above the hole on number 2 and you got to run it in, I don't know, your knees might be wobbling there.
That's where all these Saskie boys will know what you mean if you ever break the tension with that. Yeah, no, it's good. Hey, again, thanks so much. I know you're a busy guy. I really appreciate this. Really rooting for you. Just so many. So there's never been this many Saskie guys on the team. This is super special for our province. And thanks for taking some time today, Pete.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Good luck. Go get it, eh?
Thank you.